I guess it's time for shortcuts now, and I'll start with kind of a sour note. We've all heard a lot of talk about ozone layer depletion, but very little talk about how grave the problem really is. Recently, scientists have found that the hole is 4 times the size of the United States, and it's still rapidly growing. From August until December, the hole gapes above the Mapuche nation that lives in, ironically enough, Tierra del Fuego. One Mapuche Indian, Walter Ulloa, described how his arms burned as if they were boiling water. His left eye is now blind from working in a high mountain pasture. Skin cancer, sheep, fish, and rabbit blindness have increasingly been reported. Many of us may brush this problem aside and feel safe wearing sunblock and sunglasses, but the poor have no such option. But then again, Dan Quayle would probably say they're just being cultural elitists. Jeff?
That they were. The symphonic voice that comes out of Dan Quayle always simply amazes me. Our next shortcut. Last week, the Grand Rapids Press ran this article, Free Trade Agreement Initial, but still far from ratification. The article spends half its time discussing the formal process that must take place before the agreement can actually be legal. The rest of the article more or less pits Bush's position on the issue with that of Bill Clinton. Clinton is quoted as saying that he supports the free trade agreement as it stands, apart from being concerned with helping Americans who will lose jobs because of the agreement, as well as voicing some concern about environmental restrictions. It seems that Mr. Clinton is admitting that there will be a serious exodus of companies to the South, since they can pay people slave wages to do the same work done here. The article also says that U.S. labor unions and environmental groups are insisting that nothing short of a complete renegotiation will be sufficient. This seems to contradict Clinton's campaign position of "for people, for a change," unquote, since some of the people have a different position on the matter. Here at Days of Our Lives, we also have a different position and would like to announce a new book called Trading Freedom. That is a collection of Mexican, Canadian, and U.S. organizations who have been studying the potential effects of North American Free Trade Agreement. The article also has an accompanying photo of a woman being arrested for protesting the trade agreement. Her comments are, of course, not included in the article. Last week in the business section of the Grand Rapids Press, it stated that Grand Valley State University's School of Business gave Jay Van Andel an honorary degree and designation as executive in residence. The article states that Van Andel compared Amway's status as a global business to the perseverance of Christopher Columbus. I don't think that the press reporter realized how accurate of a comparison Van Andel made. The truth is that Columbus's voyages are motivated by one thing: greed. He was commissioned to search for wealth, by the Spanish crown, and namely for gold, a mission he was very faithful to. Upon entering the Western Hemisphere, Columbus and his cohorts forced native people to search for gold, and if they did not meet their quota, he cut their hands off. Now this seems to be a very accurate comparison to Van Andel's business dealings, which have been by and large motivated by greed, despite the fact that many people are exploited in the process. Well, that's all we have for shortcuts tonight, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. So time for us to close now, but next week, take note of this, we're going to have a special show on the elections and call-in. We want to find out what our viewers have to say about that. So start writing down any comments, any thoughts that you have about those elections, and give us a call here. Thanks a lot. We'll see you again next week.